Hello everybody, it's Stephanie Delaney again, on to part 2 of our orientation where we'll be talking about the reading and the lectures. So when you do your work, you want to do the reading first. When you first start the module, well first I guess you want to look through Canvas, go through the module and see what it is that's coming up. And then you want to jump right into the text reading. Now we have an electronic text from Flat World Knowledge, and that text is available for viewing online. And there's lots of different options in the online version. You can get audio, you can get video, you can get a audio narrated version of it, you can get a PDF of it, you can get it in an ebook format of any ebook, you could just read it on the web, you can order a black and white hard copy, you can order a color hard copy, whatever makes you happy, however much money you want to spend on the text, anywhere from $20 on up, you can have the option that's preferable to you. And I customized the textbook to meet our needs, so you can just order it. There's no hard copies available in the bookstore. What you can buy in our bookstore is an all-access pass, and ask for that at the register, because if you go to our section of the bookstore, you'll just find sort of an empty space where the American government book should be. But you can get an all-access pass from the front desk, or you can just use the link in our Canvas space and order it from Flat World Knowledge. There are multiple options available, as I mentioned. In addition to the text reading, we'll have audio and video stories from the web, and we'll also have other websites that I'll be referencing you to. I will always note when materials are optional, and if I don't note that they're optional, they are required. Now, then you'll want to listen to the lectures. There'll be some lectures from me, and I'll be sort of explaining the overviews, the big topics that we're talking about. I'll also be bringing in, as I mentioned, audio and video stories from the web that will help supplement my explanations, and sometimes they'll even replace my explanations if somebody else has done it better. I don't feel the need that I have to do it again myself. So you'll have a variety of voices that you'll be hearing talking to you about American government. Now I want to talk a minute about reading online, because sometimes people, when they don't have a physical book, and again it's your choice whether you'd like to have the physical book or whether you'd like to have an ebook, tend to, and even if you do go for the physical book, you'll be reading articles and other things online. So I just want to talk a bit about that. Excuse me. So before you start the reading, of course, you want to print out the quiz preparation questions, because those are the basis of what you need to know at the end of the reading. So you may as well have them and sort of note your responses as you're going along. That way, when you're finished with the reading, you'll be ready to take the quiz. So then I provide you with a reading guide at the beginning of each set of readings, and just sort of tell you why it is you're reading each thing and what it is I expect you to get out of it. And then sort of do some critical thinking about the reading that I've provided. What are some of the main points that you're reading? What evidence did the author present to support those points? And was there any evidence to the contrary? Why should you believe the information that I've presented to you? Just because I'm your teacher, don't just blindly believe me. You know, ask critical questions and make sure that I'm giving you evidence to believe what I'm telling you, and also that I'm giving you contrary information. I don't want to sort of tout one kind of line. I want you to be able to look at things from all sorts of different directions and see all different kinds of views in American government. So I want you to be an active reader when you're doing your reading. Take notes, read titles and subtitles, highlight things if you, there's online highlighters available, and you can, if you are struggling with some of the vocabulary, be sure to use a dictionary. Just make sure that you are interacting with your reading. Don't just sort of flatly read it and think it's going to stick in your head, because it won't. Taking notes makes a big difference, so be sure that you're doing that as you're doing your reading. You need to consume some news every day. That is really an important piece of American government, because American government, it's alive, it's happening right now. You know, as I'm recording this, lots of things are happening in the world. There was just a big shooting in Kenya, and how is that impacting the way that people are behaving here in our American government? And, you know, how are we influenced by external actions? Every day things are happening, and you need to be paying attention to those things that are happening and filtering them through the context of what you're learning in American government. I will expect that you are on top of the news. So you need to make sure that you've selected a way to consume it, that you're listening to the news. Maybe I listen to most of my news. I don't spend a lot of time reading the news, I will say. I mostly listen to my news on National Public Radio. So maybe while you're commuting back and forth to school, listening to the news is a good option for you. Maybe you prefer to read the news online. Maybe you want to get the daily paper. Maybe you're reading news magazines. Maybe you're watching the news every night. Whatever way you choose to consume the news, ideally a variety of ways and a variety of sources of news, not just one kind, not just the liberal news or not just the conservative news. Make sure you're getting the news from all different perspectives. But I want you to be on top of the news. If something is happening in our country, in our state, in our city, I want you to know about it. So I want you to have a way of organizing the news that you're finding and all the other things that you're finding. You'll be doing a lot of research throughout the class and gathering lots of information. You need to have a way to organize that, otherwise you will be doomed, I tell you. So make sure you have a way. Some of my favorite ways are Zotero and Evernote, so I would recommend those to you. As I mentioned, have multiple sources of news, and I'll be providing you with focus topics each module. Use those as your guide as you're looking for different kinds of news stories, especially for your week in the news essays. So that's the end of this first part, or the second part, and next we'll go on to the quizzes.